I'm now a 2:47 marathoner. It's time to look at the next few months and also to look at my long-term goals. How fast can I actually get? So there we go. That's the 2:47 in the marathon. That's chalked off for this year. It was my B goal in the end. My tentative goal was a 2:45. Didn't quite get that. I wasn't a million miles away, but I did run a really good race. I ran it nice and steady. I was really disciplined with the splits, and that's something that I was really happy with. Because previously I have gone out too quickly. I've chased a time rather than actually run at how I felt. And if I could give any advice to anyone, it is really just run at your marathon feel rather than a pace. If you start checking your watch every 2 minutes and trying to hit a pace and it doesn't quite feel right, you can kid yourself at the start of the race and then it will 100% come back to bite you at the end. This was a breakthrough for me in the mental aspect of the race, just because I was just literally running to feel. I was forced to do this a little bit because I was ill in the week leading up to the race. It wasn't a massive, massive, awful illness, but I was in bed all day on the Thursday before the race, just trying to recover, sweating, coughing. It luckily didn't really get into my body as such, so I didn't feel weak or anything, so I was able to run. But I did my last longish run on the Sunday before, and then I didn't run until the Saturday. I had a test on the Saturday to make sure I could just get through marathon pace at a decent effort. I was very worried because my heart rate was really high early on the warm up, but then as soon as I started hitting marathon effort, it felt okay and it was at a decent pace. So I thought, okay, I can give this a stab tomorrow. Now I think that was something that really helped me in the long run because it forced me to just go on effort and just don't worry about it. You might not be as fit as you thought you were. Just go on the effort. But it turns out I don't think it took that much out of me. I'm not sure I could have gone that much faster. You'll never know. But ultimately, I did execute a decent marathon, which is just so important for me going forward for the future because it knows that what I did, the training I did, and the way I approached the race was right. So, really good there. So, now we're going to look at the plan. Where am I going to go from here? I hadn't really planned my autumn this year because I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do in this race. Now, my main goal was to qualify for London with a good for age place, which I needed a 2:57. Um, with the buffer, that would have been about 2:52 just to kind of give a real decent chance of getting in. Now I'm almost 10 minutes under. So I'm thinking that's a very good chance of getting in. You can't be sure, but that is a very, very, very high chance of getting in. So that's it then. So the plan is going to be London next year. Had I not hit the time, I would have booked a marathon in for later in the year, possibly Abingdon, something like that to try and, nail down that good for age time. But because I did hit the time, it kind of frees me up for the summer to do what I want to do really, to take a bit of time off marathon training, do some other things, and get myself better at some other distances. I like to set myself goals. Whether they're realistic or not, I don't know. I kind of know it closer to the time. But I think for London, I really want to try and go under 2:40. Now, that is a lofty goal, and it's a fair bit quicker than I went this time. I think that from what I've learned and the way I'm training and the way my body's responding, it is reasonable to try and take that amount of time off. Now, I do think that, although we'll never know, I do think I was in slightly better shape than 2:47, but we will see. But there are a few things I need to do before I'm not just going to do the same training program and then assume I'm going to do a sub 2:40 because now we're getting towards some times that are getting really, really difficult to achieve. Let's have a look at where I am at the moment in terms of personal best. So I've got a 5K personal best of 17:39. That was a couple of years ago at Parkrun. I've got a 10K of, I need to look at this one, 36:13. Now, my actual race day personal best is 37:31, but I did a 36:13 in the middle of a half marathon the other week, so I'm going to take that as roughly where I am at the moment, although not official. I mean, it is what it is. So my half marathon is a 1:17:28, and then obviously the marathon at 2:47:03. So a 2:40 marathon, how on earth am I going to get there? So it's taken off a good just over 7 minutes, which is a lot. If we put that into kilometers, into minute per kilometer, it's about 10 seconds per kilometer. Again, that is still quite a lot. Now, if we have a look at the VDOT calculator, which is a trusty thing that I always go to look at how I'm going to do these things and what things are realistic, and we put those next to my actual personal bests, we can see that there are some that I do need to do some work on. So for my marathon pace to feel okay, the shorter distances, I've just got to get quicker. There's no bones about it. I really enjoy marathon training. I really enjoy the half marathon training. I do not like the shorter stuff so much. I'm not bad at it. It's just a different sort of training. It's much more high intensity. It's pushing you to the limit rather than just hovering around your lactate threshold. You're going over it and you're really trying to push it. So it's a different sort of training, but it's something that if I really want to get into the 2:30s a marathon, I need to make my 5K a lot quicker. My watch says I can do it, but I do not believe that for 1 minute because it is just a completely different kind of running. Now, every year so far, I've said I'm going to do it over the summer. I've said I'm going to try 5K training over the summer, and I always end up giving up. I end up going back to what I like. But I think we're getting to the point in my training where if I can't just do the things I like all the time, I have to make myself enjoy some of the harder stuff, and to really get that 5K time well under 17 minutes. It's a goal I've had for a couple of years, but I've never really gone for it. So let's see what I can do this year in the 5K. I've got a couple of races coming up. I've got a 3 mile race coming up next Tuesday, and I'm going to use that as a kind of baseline for my 5K training. I mean, it's obviously not 5K and it's a little bit hilly, but it'll give me an idea of the kind of pace I can hold. I'm going to go out, all out, and if I blow up, I blow up, but I'm going to just see where I am. Try and hit those 320, 325 per kilometer, and see what happens. I will do a race video on that, and it'll probably be quite a funny one. No, just chilling at a nice pace. There'll be some interesting stuff going on there, hopefully. I'd imagine it will be probably a bit of a blow up because there is a hill just towards the end as well. So I'm already dreading it. But again, if I want to get better at the marathon, I need to get better at the 5K. And then the idea is to bring that pace, to bring that ease of running at a faster pace. My marathon pace will feel absolutely brilliant. So that sub 3:50 marathon pace will be beautiful. So there we go then. A summer of 5K training on the way. I cannot wait. Do you believe me? I'm not sure that I believe me, but we're going to get on with it anyway. I'll see you next time.